It would be a very rash thing to talk about cycling achievement in a building like this, which is staffed by people who've cycled over the Alps and much further greater distances than I've ever been on. But Anita's right, it's a book about a kind of self-conscious, hapless, pathetic old man who feels that he must pull himself together, loosen weight and recover his fitness. And that's the story of the book. It was only about a little over a year when I got the bike, and bikes had changed in the time that I'd ridden. I'd ridden bikes in the 80s mostly with one of the characters in the book, Toby, who's actually here tonight. And Anita reads that as us being the boys out on the road, and I suppose that's what we were. We were people who were fitter than we knew we were, and cycled from pub to pub around Strangford Lough. But we were riding on bikes which were very different from any of the bikes that are even on sale in this shop here. And one of the things to learn was how the bicycle had changed in the time that we had changed ourselves. And I remember just the first day getting the bike and taking it up the Ravenhill Road and wobbling in the traffic and wondering, how do you actually do this? Because there's this myth that once you've learned to do it, you never forget. And you do forget. You forget the confidence to stick yourself right out in front of cars and just claim the lane, just take the space on the road. And you forget how bloody exhausting the first mile or two can be, while the 20th or 30th mile can be completely exhilarating. And sometimes you forget to stop and eat something, and then the 10th, the 12th, and the end stages of the journey are really quite horrific. I just want to say that the biking journey itself has been for me one of coping with aging, coping with mortality, coping with the horrific sense that this parcel of fat that was sitting in my lap like an unfortunate child until I chose to push it out of my way and get back on the bike. That that's what this book is about. It's a philosophical book in a way. It's a bit about saying, I know that there's something slightly pathetic about being an old man who wants to have almost like the one who wants to have a wee blonde in his arm and ride a sports car and recover youth. And it's exactly about recovering the youth. And when I went out on the bike first, and I think people saw that, because I remember once going down past the BBC, and a producer that I worked with was on the footpath, and he saw me and he just said, "Nice new bike, Malachi." As if this was the most sneering thing you could say. The most embarrassing thing that you could have would be a new bike. And also when I went out riding around the roads, I find at first, and this tailed off, this ended, this stopped after a time, so it must mean something. But kids would mock you, kids would shout at you, They're cycling down the Saintfield Road, and they slow down their cars and wind down the window and yell at you, or they just shout at you from bus stops. And you wonder, what's that about? And I think what it was about looking like somebody who doesn't ride a bicycle, on a bicycle. And I think in a sense, having reached the stage where children no longer mock me, and people in sports cars no longer wind out the window and shout at me, is an indicator of some kind of progress. So there you are. Anyway, I'm keeping you back from your wine. Can I say thank you very much to Derek at Bike Talk for all the support they gave me, for the help that they've been, and for organising this event tonight. And can I say a very special thanks to Patsy Horton, who nearly gave the game away entirely with how this book was conceived. The first book that I did was The Trouble with Guns, which was a Blackstaff publication, and I've been around the houses a few times with different publishers and back to Blackstaff. It's been such a pleasure working with a publisher which is very, very diligent about editing and has such a commitment to the end product, and that has to be said for Blackstaff. And I'd like to thank a lot of people that I've just met on the road, people I cycled with in the past, people that I've cycled with in the past couple of years doing this, and people that I'd cycle with in the future. And I would like to thank the people who have done something to reshape Belfast into a city that's hospitable to the bicycle, though they've an awful long way to go yet, the mess they've made, the job they've taken on. But anyway, have a nice drink, enjoy yourselves, and come up and have a wee natter with me through the evening. And thank you all very, very much for coming.